All right, guys, let's talk about chapters 17 and 18. So, client connectivity. In terms, latency is the time from transmitter to receiver. So, from the time my wireless card formulates the packet and sends it, and you receive it, that's latency. So when we say you have a ping of 68 milliseconds, that's how long it took me to transmit that packet from me to you. Now, jitter is the variance in latency. You typically, obviously, don't want a lot of jitter. So if for some reason I'm getting all these spikes, so let's say my ping is 50, 50, 51, 52, 53, that's great. But all of a sudden, boom, it jumps up to 125, 126, and then it goes down to 50, 50, 50, 50, boom, 125. That's jitter, and we don't want jitter. Jitter is bad. So jitter, bad. So packet loss, obviously, how many packets are lost in transit? So again, we want the lowest latency possible, we want the lowest jitter possible, and we want the lowest packet loss possible. And this is where things like packet sniffers and Wireshark and those things come into play, where we start looking through a protocol analyzer to identify how many packets we're losing, what's the variance, that kind of stuff. Because remember, as network engineers, we're not there to keep the network running. The network runs by itself. 9 days out of 10, you're not going to have a problem with your network. So your job is to make sure the network is as efficient as possible. All right, so again, when you have drivers for your Wi-Fi, like let's say I have a Dell laptop, obviously there are Windows drivers and there are drivers from Dell. So here you can see, here's the Windows driver, and then here's the Dell driver. 9 times out of 10, you want to use the manufacturer's driver and not the operating system driver. Why? Microsoft is not concerned with all the features of the driver. They don't care whether your wireless device will hit every different data rate. They don't care if what this transmission speed, that kind of stuff. They don't care about that. All they care is that device will function in Windows, and it will not hurt Windows or make it unstable. So they make very stable, safe drivers. The manufacturer, on the other hand, wants their device to be as fully functional as possible. So they put all kinds of bells and whistles in their drivers that activate different things and maybe make it perform better. So for best performance, you always want the manufacturer's drivers. If for some reason the manufacturer's driver is not compatible with your operating system, then you need to use the Windows driver. So, and I see this a lot in the business world, especially with printers, printers, wireless cards, things like that. A lazy IT guy will just plug in the printer, let it do plug and play, and then be done with it. And then later on down the road, a client or customer will say, well, my printer doesn't do duplex, or my printer doesn't do this, but it was advertised on the box. Well, that's because you use the operating system driver that doesn't support that feature. It just supports basic functionality. So don't be lazy. Use the manufacturer's drivers and test everything out before you leave. All right, so Windows has had wireless drivers as part of the basic operating system since XP, and maybe even before that, but I remember in XP they had it too. So in Windows XP, it was called the Wireless Zero Configuration Utility. So in Windows XP, if you went to Control Panel Services, you would see it listed under Wireless Zero Configuration, and that was the built-in Windows driver. Nowadays, they call it the Wireless LAN Auto Configuration, so WLAN Auto Configuration. So again, Control Panel Services, and you find all the different services. And so if you want to use the operating system driver, wow, you just obviously go to Services and just right-click, turn it on, start the service, stop the service, that kind of stuff. So again, you can start and stop these services manually. It's very easy to do. All right, so in order to find a wireless SSID, so again, on my PC, I typically have this little icon showing up in the bottom, so I right-click on that, and then I get the option for Open Network and Sharing Center. Now, if that for some reason that icon's not there, you can just go to Start All Programs, or Start Control Panel, and access the Network and Sharing Center that way as well. So once I'm in the Network and Sharing Center, I just hit Manage Wireless Networks. And then I can either right-click and then Connect, Disconnect, or I can do it this way so that they all kind of show up. So again, when I see this list, these are all beacons being sent by these different access points advertising these SSIDs. And it's the same thing nowadays with mobile clients or cell phones. And with Android, I go to settings, wireless and networks, and then I do Wi-Fi settings, and then boom, all the different beacons being sent out by these access points all show up in my list, and I can pick which one I want to connect to. And then you'll see the little icon, either, these are protected either with WEP, WPA, WPA2, or unprotected, so I can just plug in and connect. All right, so Cisco Compatibility Extensions, CCX. So Cisco obviously has designed different products, and they try to put more functionality in their products. So the CCX standard exceeds the 802.11 standard. So remember, if I'm a manufacturer and I want to make a wireless device, I just focus on the 802.11 standard, and then my device will work with other manufacturers' devices, and that's what I want. But Cisco always kind of goes the extra mile and always has a proprietary version of something that theoretically adds functionality. So before you use that, you want to verify that your client supports those extensions. And you'll see all the different versions of the CCX extensions are listed in your book on page 403. And this is also an area where Cisco struggles. They tend to force proprietary standards down people's throats, and then people kind of tend to stay away from it. Obviously you can turn this off and you can have just a regular stuff. But why am I paying for Cisco if I'm not going to use all the features? But if I use Cisco and I use CCX and their other features, then I'm kind of stuck in all Cisco stuff. And that's why these other manufacturers, like for wireless, Aruba is crushing Cisco. Any small to medium business nowadays, the IT people are not pushing Cisco, they're pushing Aruba. And when you look at firewalls for small and medium businesses, SonicWall is crushing them. WatchGuard, Barracuda, lots of these other companies that can focus and do things really well. But anyway, I digress. So Cisco also made a CCX Lite version for wireless phones and other devices that don't need every CCX feature. So they have 4 categories. So the foundation, so CCX Lite Foundation is just the core set of features. And then CCX Lite with voice, obviously it adds voice features. CCX Lite with location, adds location reporting for like RFID tags, things like that. And then CCX Lite for management to do diagnostic and client reporting. So make sure you know those 4 categories. They may show up on a quiz. All right, so Chapter 18, woo! So Cisco Unified Access. Basically, Cisco is pushing this unified access method, and it's kind of a neat idea. So basically, they want one network, one policy, one management. So one network, a single network infrastructure. All access is created and managed. I don't know why I have two is's in there. Are managed centrally, and all devices can be configured or managed centrally. So in terms of IT people, it's a dream. But in terms of the budget guy and the finance people, they're like, oh crap, it's Cisco, it's going to be expensive. So there's a couple videos here. Let me see if I can get these suckers to play. Dope. All right, the guy in this video in the red sweater is Drew. And here we go.
Buddy, ever get that feeling that the day is gonna turn out just great?
Hi, guys. How's it shaking?
Well, the boss just made me the BYOD project manager.
BYOD? Oh, you mean bring your own device? Finally, I'll be able to work on the accounting application from my iPad.
I was thinking more along the lines of just internet access.
And I'll be able to take video conference calls on my smartphone.
Real-time video?
The guys are going to be thrilled.
The guys?
Yeah, my whole division. We're moving into this building today. See you later, Zach. So cool.
So many devices, so many applications, so many implications. I don't think our networks are ready for this. I don't think I'm ready for this. Oh, I don't feel so good. I better get home before I make anyone else sick. Is that the new integrated wired and wireless switch? I think I'm feeling much better. The same smart features for wired and wireless. That was simpler than I thought.
Hey, Zach, I can't access the accounting application from the other branches. Strange. Other applications are working fine. You can take care of that, you BYOD guru, right?
Changing our security policies? For all 1,000 branches? So many VLANs, firewall rules, and a gazillion access control lines for our wired and wireless networks! Huh?
Here, Drew, I fixed it for you.
One policy for wired and wireless? Simpler than I thought.
Hey there, Zach. Video on my phone is looking really, really bad. You're on it, right?
Whoa, this is just too much. Video quality on wireless? It's hard enough to fix this on the wired network, let alone wireless. This is crazy. I tell you, it's crazy. There's only one thing left to do. I'm out of here. No, it's possible. You're able to see that a guest is using most of the wireless bandwidth? Simpler than I thought.
Hey, Zach.
Bye,
I
Drew.
just wanted to bring him a thank you cupcake.
All right, so that's one of the plugs for the Cisco Unified Access thing. Let me show you another one real quick. All right, here goes.
The need for new digital capabilities is bringing my IT department into the boardroom to help solve problems. We have to introduce new services to drive business. Before Cisco Unified Access, our IT department was facing some challenges in that respect. We needed an end-to-end networking strategy. Ensuring our users could connect to network resources quickly and seamlessly with wired or wireless access was tough. And as we gained more users and devices on our network, it was hard to tell whether our infrastructure was providing a high-quality experience. We also had some serious concerns about security. When employees or guests logged onto the network wirelessly, remotely, or with their own devices, were those connections safe? Sometimes these issues meant that employees were less productive, or we got more help desk calls. Monitoring separate wired and wireless networks was such a challenge that we spent late nights tracking down problems. We needed a flexible, easy-to-use solution for our network issues. That's when we heard about Cisco Unified Access. It offers simple, smart, and highly secure network solutions. Cisco Unified Access brings wired and wireless networks together to help our company be more agile. From the device to the wireless LAN, the wired LAN, and the cloud. Cisco's IT innovations mean our users can have consistent, reliable network access to the applications and resources they need for their daily work. But the benefits of Cisco's converged wired and wireless networking aren't just for our customers and employees. Unified Access can make things easier for network managers too. You can manage both wired and wireless networks from a single interface to gain a 360-degree view of users, devices, and applications. And Cisco Unified Access has technology to keep your services up and running, improving network reliability and efficiency. Cisco Unified Access is smart enough to improve application and device performance for any use case. Whether a user is connecting from a wired or wireless device, on-site or off-site, Cisco Unified Access offers embedded security that identifies and contains threats within the network. And with Cisco Unified Access, the smart network solutions and enhanced security aren't limited to companies like ours. Unified Access provides benefits in a variety of environments, like support for bring your own device in schools and colleges, boosting device and application performance in hospitals, ensuring the network serves as a security sensor and enforcer for retail outlets, and providing the network upgrade that small businesses need to thrive. With over 30 years in networking leadership, Cisco has the expertise and innovation to transform your business into a digital enterprise. The simplicity, intelligence, and security of Cisco Unified Access brings wired and wireless networking together to help us be more agile to meet the demands of a digital business. Visit the Cisco Unified Access website today to learn more.
All right, and one comment I want to make, if you ever get a chance, the Jimmy Ray Purser videos from Cisco are actually really good. I mean, this is Jimmy Ray over here. If you ever get a chance, like obviously here is the Unified Access Challenge, but for years he was doing some videos for Cisco as part of obviously their company, and just incredibly entertaining and interesting stuff. So I digress. There was another video here that kind of showed you some of the screens and stuff, but you've seen enough of that. All right, so Cisco Prime, woohoo! So Cisco Prime is another solution that they're kind of pushing out. So here's the Cisco Prime appliance. And this is I have no idea, the Cisco blah, blah, blah series wireless LAN controller. So look at this sucker. I got 4 drive bays. I got a CD-ROM drive, a bunch of different connectors, that kind of stuff. So this is for really cool wireless. So this is something you would see in a multinational company. But comes with this is part of their unified system, and it's kind of neat. Again, you can control everything. There's so much data that this stuff provides. You can see each individual user, what protocols they're using. You get alerts to the screen, hey, this access point failed, or hey, this access point's at max capacity, hey, this access point's having this, or this kind of thing, or hey, somebody threw up a rogue access point. So just tons of information it provides. So again, here's another thing. Hey, show me my notifications. And again, just like Windows, they're critical, minor, that kind of stuff. And you can customize these interfaces any way that you want. So your summary screen can look and feel different ways. So you might like it this way, but I might like it that way. And you can kind of see all the stuff it tracks, impacted telepresence access points, any alarms I got, number of telepresence sessions, video port utilization, and then if I go here, telepresence endpoints, top 10 devices that experienced alarms. Again, so you can set the summary page for whatever is the most interesting to you or whatever point you're monitoring. All right, and then you can put in floor plans, and you can map all this stuff out and see, print out heat maps and see, where do I have coverage, where do I not have coverage, where are users located in my buildings. Some places use systems like this to mark different equipment so they can see if equipment's being walked out of the building. So when it hits certain points in the building, like an alarm would go off and say, hey, somebody's obviously walking out the door with this, we need to stop that. So if you're interested in learning more, obviously there's other videos out there about the Cisco Prime system. But again, chances are most of us won't see a Cisco Prime system because we don't work for these huge multinational companies. But if for some reason you move, I have a guy that graduated 2 years ago, and he just went to University of Akron, and he just emailed me a couple days ago and let me know that he just graduated from Akron, and he got a job with, I can't remember the company. It's the aircraft company. I don't even know what their name is. But anyway, so he's now moving to New Jersey to work on the air traffic controller system. And there was a name for that, and I can't remember that either because I'm getting old and I suck. But it was just, so he's already got the chance to work at something like that. So it's just kind of neat. So again, I definitely encourage you guys that when you're done here, if you want, go to Akron U, get the bachelor's degree, and get that really cool job that you have always been anticipating. All right, so that's it for me. If you have any questions, make sure you bring them up in class. Other than that, have a great week.